Hello people, some dumb guy here, and I'm present for another unboxing video. Got myself a nice little stack trickled in this past week. Another one to come probably next week. And we got a variety of vendors that I've purchased from this time around. So let's dive in, shall we? We're going to start with GRUV, one of my personal favorites. Got more coming from them. For some reason my shipment got split in half, and the second half seems to be taking a little while, so I figured, you know what, just dive into it since I've got more coming later. I don't get these things build up too fast because, you know, these videos get too long if I do. So let's see where we start. All right, Blu-ray 3-pack collection of, this is the Hannibal Lecter collection. Now, I bought this for one reason and one reason alone. This is an incredibly sloppy plastic wrap here. I wonder if this was like a repack or something. I'm going to have to look at that and see what the deal is on the inside. But I bought this specifically for one reason only. Manhunter. I've seen The Silence of the Lambs. I've seen Hannibal. I have not seen Manhunter. This is the original Hannibal Lecter film, starring Brian Cox, excuse me. He played Hannibal Lecter prior to The Silence of the Lambs in the first movie based on the book of Red Dragon, which was later remade with Anthony Hopkins in it. And I thought it'd be interesting to do a little compare and contrast between Manhunter and Red Dragon. Red Dragon I like. I had read the book many years ago, but have not seen Manhunter. And like I said, this was the only real way. I know Manhunter had gotten a release before, but I believe it's out of print now. This was relatively cheap. I think I paid $11.99. So for 3 movies, great. I have 2 of them, but I only needed the one, so $11.99 for a Blu-ray I didn't have. Still not a bad price at all. And for the rest of the envelope, we have 4K with slipcover, looking pretty good, looking pretty clean. It's another DC animated film that went on sale through GRUV. Overall, a really great price on this one. I paid $12.99, and it is the deluxe edition of Batman The Long Halloween. Usually this guy here is separated into parts 1 and 2 for even more money individually than I paid for the 2. That's not really focusing too well, is it? Let me see if I can get that to work. Not so great. That's a little better. Okay. So yeah, when this thing dropped down to $12.99 first on Amazon, I was just about ready to pull the trigger, and I happened to pop over into GRUV, and they had the same price, which was great because Amazon's sale for that price changed really quick before I could even pull the trigger either way. I always prefer to go to GRUV before I go to Amazon. They're going to get more of the direct profits on that. GRUV distributing for Universal and Warner Brothers exclusively, that being a Warner Brothers film. I like to support the direct source as closely as I possibly can. Amazon gets enough of our business as it is. So, moving on. This one here, this one has been a long time in coming. I've been waiting for this sucker for 2 years now. So hopefully this journey is complete. It's a Friday the 13th fan film. I recently featured Friday the 13th fan film of Vengeance in an unboxing. Well, here is the sequel, Vengeance Part 2 Bloodlines. I have not seen this one yet. I was holding off on rewatching Part 1, which I'd watched on my phone when it first came out. Trying to get a physical copy of that after their campaign ended was pretty much impossible unless you wanted to go to eBay and pay a scalper $75 or $80. As it is, even through the campaign itself, when the second film was being made, you could order it there. You can order the 2-pack or each individual movie of your choice, $40 a piece. which is really outrageous. And yeah, not really too thrilled with how this campaign was handled. But I will watch the first film on now my TV for the first time as a rewatch, and then I can pick this one up and see how it plays off as a sequel. I'd be really curious to see. But yeah, the campaign owner or guy that ran this thing, he was spacey, flaky. I don't want to be too insulting. I mean, I know these people try. They really do. But there was issue after issue. I think I probably covered a little bit about it, but we didn't have an update as far as shipping goes for the Blu-rays of either movie since February of this year. And in that update, he said he'd be shipping in 3 to 4 weeks. Well, we waited until, I think it was September, and people were getting really antsy. Like, okay, well, 3 to 4 weeks is obviously come and gone quite a while ago. Here we are, over 6 months later, still nothing. So a bunch of us started reaching out and contacting him, and then he finally started responding sometime later saying he wasn't getting updates or notifications or emails from pretty much anybody, which I found a little suspicious. But he assured everybody that things were going out. I got part 1 only in the mail separately when I was supposed to get both. And other people were experiencing the exact same problem. So, in the community on the campaign page, we were all communicating with each other. He caught wind of that, came back with another update saying that the last batch of part 2 and everything else was going to be going out in the next week or two. So we waited. And he said, hey, contact me if things don't go right. Well, lo and behold, that deadline came and went. I didn't get anything, so I emailed him or put an update on the campaign as well. And he gets back to me the next day, which thank you for that, and comes and says, well, according to my spreadsheet that I have here, you only ordered the first film. But then I went and looked at the actual campaign, and sure enough, hey, you bought both. That's why you didn't get the second one. So I'll go ahead and send that out to you next week. So this came in last night, and I believe he sent me that email Friday. So from Friday to the following Sunday the next week, not too bad of a turnaround. So assuming everything goes according to plan, I can move forward on that one. I'm curious here too. Yeah, he's still using, I'm sure you guys can see that fairly well. He's not doing pressed discs. He's doing, they're Blu-rays, but I don't know what they call them when they're, usually have your recordable DVD-Rs and things like that. I don't see any markings on this, but yeah, that's clearly not a pressed disc, so I hope it has a solid lifespan. You don't expect overall professional quality like studio stuff from fan films. That would be unreasonable, but yeah, after 2 years, $80 for 2 films, I think I'm probably done supporting the fan film community at this point. I still have pending Never Hike Alone Part 2, which is also a Friday the 13th fan film. It basically ends a 3-part saga, which I've been involved with that since 2019, 2020, give or take. I think since I saw the first film and was able to buy the Blu-ray of Never Hike Alone, and then they did a prequel, Never Hike in the Snow, and then the sequel, Never Hike Alone 2. That was an interesting journey, and yeah, so I think the Blu-rays are getting close to being manufactured on that one, so I think I'm going to be done. That's going to be it for me in the fan films. Just lots of money and a little more patience than I think I would like to apply to my own life in this regard. Next up, we're going to be moving on to Amazon. Let's see what we've got here. Go away. Go away. Let's see. We have here, experimental time. I swear a lot of these boxing videos I do for my purchases tend to be a lot more blind buys than anything else. This went on sale, once again, for a really great price, which was, come on interwebs, $12.99 I paid for this, and this is something I have no experience in whatsoever, but for 8 movies, $12.99, why not? It is the Hammer Horror 8-film collection. $12.99 for an experimental blind buy. I can't go wrong. This will be my, again, first trial foray into the world of Hammer Horror. And I'm curious. I enjoy a lot of the old Universal stuff, and this moves things a little bit forward from that. I need to do a little bit more homework as far as what the Hammer era time frame consists of. This one here says, for this particular release, the chilling movies from the Hammer Film Studios during the 40s and 50s have been scaring audiences worldwide, yada, 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 yada. I don't know if it was only the 40s and 50s, because I was always under the impression that the Hammer horror went through the 60s and 70s. So I guess I'm going to have to do a little educating, or anybody know anything more than what little I do, by all means, please throw me out some details, but I think that's going to be a lot of fun. Let's see what else we got here. Yeah. I'm hoping this will become a guilty pleasure. I have actually seen this movie once before. Got it for $16.79, which not a great deal, but considering the historic prices it's been set at for a number of years and how rarely it drops below $20, I decided to pull the plug on it. I saw this movie once before when it was relatively new. Wasn't a fan of it. No, it doesn't have a great reputation. However, I'm a Tom Cruise fan, admittedly. And I like to see different adaptations of novels and such that I've read over the years that I like. And I thought it was a good time to give this one another try. But it is the 4K, no slipcover of The War of the Worlds. I have the original film from, I believe it was 1953, I think is when that came out, which I enjoy. Better adaptation than this, although neither are exceedingly accurate from what I recall from the H.G. Wells novel, but still, it could be some good times. We'll see. We shall see. Like I said, at most, I can hope this will become a guilty pleasure. Next. Get off me. We have another Blu-ray with slipcover. Let's see, what did I end up ultimately paying for this one? I put this on pre-order, which I don't often do, and the price dropped after my order was placed, so I paid less for it than I was originally expecting. So $17.99 I paid for this. I think it originally went up for like in the neighborhood of $20. Price dropped. I got it on their pre-order price guarantee. This was an interesting film. I went into this one completely blind in the theater, having read maybe a sentence or two of the synopsis on the theater app. And it's kind of a Friday the 13th-esque type story, except the entirety of it is told from the perspective, or shown from the perspective, of the antagonist, or the killer in this case. So it's like watching a Friday the 13th film with the camera following, basically tracking behind Jason's shoulder the entire length of the movie. And sleepy kitty. Anyway, it is in a violent nature. This came out earlier this year. When I went to the theater to see this, I think there was maybe 5 of us in there. I don't know how well it ultimately did. It did play for a little while. Hopefully it picked up some momentum. And a violent nature is a great way to describe what this movie is. The kills are bloody, they are gory, they are violent, they are brutal. And it's just really fascinating. It's almost like playing a first-person modern video game where you're tracking your camera behind this character you're playing. And sometimes it's long and drawn out because this guy is just walking through the woods and you're just following him. And the quote-unquote hero characters or victims in these kind of standard movies, usually you're following them. Well, in this case, you're following the killer. So you're walking into their random goings-on or their conversations, and they're coming and they're going, and you're in the woods and you're seeing all this from the killer's perspective, and he will just walk up and does whatever he does. It was a novel concept. It was very curious and very fascinating way that they did it. It's an interesting slipcover too. It's like the actual killer themselves, everything else is kind of a matte. Well, you can see that, but everything that's on him is kind of shiny, glossy finish. And it's an interesting look for a killer too. This is kind of a primitive mask for fighting wildfires in the forest, and that's his particular getup that he wears in the course of this movie while he's doing his business. It's hard to say if I recommend this one or not. It's definitely worth giving a try. It got a very mixed reception from the people who watched it, which was kind of sad because they said it's something novel and unique, which is great. That should be encouraged. It doesn't always work, though. Last out of this package, another blind buy for me. I've been curious about this film for a long time, so I paid $10.19 for this, so good price, new Blu-ray. It is Melancholia, starring Kirsten Dunst, who I think kind of gets a bad rap sometimes as an actress. And there's a lot of glare on there, I apologize. You just can't win with lighting and all this plastic wrap that these things come with, but I know nothing about this movie. It floats around in the ether, you see the picture, you hear the name. I know nothing about the story, whatever. I don't even think I want to read the synopsis on the back. By Lars von Trier directed, incredibly popular director, very respected. The cast looks solid. We got Kirsten Dunst, Charlotte Gainsbourg, Alexander Skarsgård, and Kiefer Sutherland, which I didn't even know that much beyond Kirsten Dunst. So this might be fascinating. We shall see, we shall see. I got a box here. See who this box is from, because there's no return address on this thing at all. Just packing like that. It's not a movie. Okay. So I did buy this through Amazon, but I don't think it came from Amazon. So, sold by Fulfillment Express US. Interesting. Let's hope it's legit after my most recent experience. But I paid $23.70 for this. I've been waiting for the price to drop. I was hoping it would come down a little bit more. But this thing comes from Umbrella out of Australia, and now I'm a little bit nervous. Worlds on Film Beyond Genres, Volume 24. I think I'm going to be opening this one up really quick and doing an inspection on it. Not a great movie by any stretch, but I wanted to upgrade my DVD on this one. But we'll just go right into it with slipcover. Is the Blu-ray import of King Kong Lives. Never even realized you can't hardly see the title on the front cover here. That's helpful, isn't it? I think this came out really early this year or late last year. And initially there was a lot of conflict about whether or not this was a region-free or region-locked film. I've had a lot of reports and reviews on Amazon when I bought it there that people were saying, despite the disclaimer on the product page of it being a region B, that it was actually region free. So this one's going on the top of my stack. I need to confirm that and make sure, one, it's legit, and one, that it's region free. I do have a region free player, so I'm covered either way, but I always prefer to know and go region free whenever I can. Having more than one TV in the home, only one player that's region free, it kind of restricts your viewing habits, where you can actually watch something. So yeah, we're going to take a look at that. That is everything this time around, and we're going to go ahead and move on and close things out. You want to say hi to the audience? Sugar, come here. Oh, come here, sweet kitty. Look at that. Oh, she's purring. She got her happy motor going. Look at the people over here. Look over here. Hey. Sugar, no, you want to look? You're shy. Don't be shy. Say hi. Everybody loves Sugar. There you go. Anyway, thank you for joining me. I will see you soon with another unboxing, no doubt. I have a collection of stuff still coming, both from GRUV and some other pending orders from Amazon. So when those come in, starting probably next week, we'll see what's what. And so you all have a nice evening, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you once again for joining. As always, feel free to drop your comments in the bottom and engage a little bit. What you think of my purchases? You have any criticisms, commentary, any of that good stuff? Let me know. Have a nice night.